Meet Natasha, the creator behind the channel Quest Out West. Living in her Dodge Grand Caravan with her 3 cats, she documents her nomadic life and inspires her viewers to face their fears and embrace adventure. But one night, during what was supposed to be a simple search for a remote campsite, Natasha would find herself confronting real terror pushed far beyond her comfort zone. It began in Squamish, British Columbia. Natasha set off down a service road, her GPS promising a secluded spot for the night. At first, she was excited, but as the road grew narrower and more dangerous, her nerves began to fray.
Nervous because we seem to be driving out a lot further than I intended. This is a pretty narrow road, quite bumpy, and I'm not sure what this...
On one side, a sheer cliff dropped off just inches from her tires. With no space to turn back, she realized she was committed to whatever lay ahead. Soon, she reached a fork.
Warning, road deactivated. My God, use extreme caution. Oh my God. Okay, no, I don't know, man. Okay, and the car is like literally slipping backwards.
One sign pointed toward a campground, the safer option. The other warned that the road ahead was deactivated. As she debated, another vehicle confidently took the forbidden path. Against her better judgment, Natasha followed. It was a decision she immediately regretted. Her van's tires slipped on the steep incline, the vehicle beginning to roll backward toward the edge. Heart pounding, she stopped before disaster struck and pulled into a small turnout with a stunning view, but beauty quickly gave way to dread.
I'm concerned that in the middle of the night that we're going to accidentally roll down the hill or something. Or maybe even just get hit by somebody else coming down this road. Would not be good. Is that a crashed plane? I don't think it's a plane, but it might be a crashed RV. Somebody that actually did go off this edge. So, it's an authentic fear.
Below the cliff, she spotted what looked like the wreckage of a vehicle that hadn't been as fortunate. And then came the sound. From deep within the woods, an eerie, otherworldly noise echoed. Something Natasha could only compare to the predator from the movies.
Do you hear that? Is that supposed to be a bird?
She froze. Was it a bird or something else? As she unpacked, the fear deepened. Every item she removed from the van felt like it slowed her chance of escape. If whatever was making that sound stepped out of the shadows.
Becoming increasingly more vulnerable as I take stuff out of the van. It's not like I could just slam the door shut and take off, because I gotta put all this stuff back in the van. And then I'm hearing this weird-ass sound from the woods.
By nightfall, the forest was alive with movement. Every rustle, every snapping twig sent her into a panic. The feeling of being watched became unbearable. Finally, she gave in to her instincts, hastily repacking and fleeing the area. But her nightmare wasn't over.
So, finish my food and then shove everything back in the van. Now it's getting pretty dark. And I really just want to get out of here. I don't want to sleep here for the night. I'm just too creeped out. Every single little noise that I heard, I was like, oh my God, what is that? Is that a bear? I just can't.
On the dark highway, headlights appeared in her mirror. A truck. At first, it seemed ordinary until it closed in, tailgating aggressively with its high beams blinding her. The driver's behavior grew increasingly threatening, swerving and nearly forcing her off the road when she tried to pull over. Natasha's escape from the forest had turned into a terrifying confrontation with a human predator.
A truck starts driving behind me, really right up on my butt, like tailgating me, and with his high beams on or whatever, and he's doing it on purpose. And I'm going like 85 in a 90. It's not like I'm going too slow. I'm just going too slow for him. And I saw a turnoff for a lookout, but he was right on my ass. I couldn't even slow down. So he almost ran me off the road, and there was nothing else I could do.
Shaken and exhausted, she eventually found refuge in the familiar safety of a Walmart parking lot. What began as a quest for peace in nature had spiraled into a multi-layered nightmare. The strange sounds in the woods had left her unsettled. But the most terrifying danger came not from the forest, but from another driver on the open road. It's a chilling reminder. Sometimes the scariest part of an adventure isn't nature itself. It's the people you meet along the way. Chris is the lone investigator behind NKPS Paranormal, a YouTube channel devoted to real-time explorations of haunted and remote places. This time, he's back in a deep forest in Kentucky, an area he's visited before but never dared to spend the night alone. It's nearly 11 p.m. when he arrives. The thick woods are alive with night sounds, frogs, insects, the occasional distant snap of a branch. Chris mentions keeping a firearm and bear spray close at hand. But it's clear his concerns aren't about animals. These woods have a reputation for stranger things. He sets up camp, settling into his tent. When the first oddities begin, the sounds of the forest fade away, dropping from a noisy chorus to complete silence in seconds. A classic sign, he notes, that something is nearby.
I don't think I'm gonna cook tonight. What was that? It's a weird squeaking noise. Like, almost like a turkey, but turkeys don't do that at night. Guys, I'm hearing stuff walking around the tent. I've got the knife here, protection. Also got the PP back here, the gun, GUN. But that, you hear that noise between the frogs? I think that's a coyote, but hear that? I don't know. Never heard that noise back here before.
For a moment, the stillness hangs heavy, broken only by faint rustling and the occasional snap of a twig. Then, just as suddenly, the frogs return. Whatever passed through is already gone.
Oh, and I already started the old step 2, Steve Wallace style. Got some Southern Comfort in there. Trying to get relaxed. Trying to fill this area out. Listening to my surroundings. Somebody out there? You heard them frogs? You heard how loud they were? Now it's quiet. Little bitty bugs, sure. Like you can hear them, like the cicadas, but...
By 2 a.m., Chris decides to test for activity. He sets up a Melmeter and REM pod beside him, activating the Spirit Talker app. Almost immediately, the devices begin reacting. For several minutes, he asks questions, receiving steady, intelligent responses, enough to convince him something unseen is with him. But the night's most disturbing moment may not be paranormal at all.
Well, I'm gonna give you all a few more minutes, and then we're gonna call this quit with this stuff. Then we're gonna go out and walk around and see what we can get into, see what we can find. And then we're gonna call it a night. Hey! Hey! What the fuck was that? Jesus Christ. Something just literally jumped on this tent.
Despair.
Who is out there? Did you all see that?
Without warning, something slams into the side of his tent with enough force to make him flinch. No footsteps before, no movement after, just impact. The weight behind it doesn't feel like any animal he's encountered in the wild. His pulse hammers in his ears as he forces himself to stay calm. Eventually, Chris unzips the tent and steps into the cold darkness, sweeping his flashlight across the clearing. Nothing. No movement, no tracks, Not even the sound of retreating footsteps. Whatever it was, it's simply gone.
There's that noise again. I hope it's picking up on the mic. It's like chatter, like back and forth. So we've heard footsteps. Whatever that was, it jumped on the tent. Now, instead of the owl being down there, owl is up there hooting. Heard chatter from whatever that is. It's been a wild night. We got some good evidence on the spirit box. We were talking to somebody. The woods are quiet. They're dead right now. I hate to use that word, but it's dead silent. Whatever pushed his tent down had to have some weight to it. Calm down, Chris. Be logical. What could it be? But a branch drop and hit that. It didn't feel like a branch. I don't know, guys. I'm bewildered. I have no clue what jumped on my tent. I mean, what would jump on your tent? Or push on your tent? Whatever.
Shaken, he tries to rest. Around 6 a.m., the tent shakes again. But this time, he can't say if it's the wind or something returning for one last visit. By morning, Chris packs up, leaving the forest behind. He promises to return, still determined to uncover the truth. But for now, he carries the memory of that night and the knowledge that something came to him in the dark and vanished without a trace. This is Dan, a well-known YouTuber you might recognize from his channel Cursed Urban Dan. For nearly 5 years, he's taken viewers along on his outdoor journeys, ranging from peaceful camping trips to chilling explorations of the unknown. Fearless and determined, Dan has always embraced the thrill of the wilderness. But on this particular night, he would face something unlike anything he had ever encountered, a real-life nightmare that would stay with him forever. It was November 18th, 2024. A cold winter evening perfect for Dan's latest adventure. His chosen destination was the ominously named Forest of Sorrow, a place steeped in unsettling legend. Locals whisper of strange rituals, ghostly apparitions, and unlucky travelers who entered never to return. It's the kind of place most would avoid after dark. Yet Dan ventured in alone, determined to capture its haunting beauty on camera. After arriving, he parked his car, set up camp, and decided to take a short evening walk through the forest.
All right, back onto the trail. So, man, it's getting dark. I've had to open up my aperture all the way now. I'm about to have to start bumping up the ISO on the camera. And I am getting hungry.
As night fell, he returned to his campsite, built a fire, and roasted marshmallows, enjoying a rare moment of calm. But the stillness didn't last.
You gotta be kidding me. Dude, I just heard a scream. Dude, that was that scream again. Who's speaking? That was that scream again. Dude.
A scream tore through the silence, echoing across the trees. Dan froze, realizing he was not alone. His unease grew, but curiosity pushed him forward. Hoping for answers, he pulled out his spirit talker to see if he could make contact with whatever might be out there. Almost instantly, the forest fell deathly quiet again.
What I'm going to do is I am going to put out this fire to the best of my ability. And probably take a quick trip down the trail.
Later, restless and uneasy, Dan decided to take one last walk before heading to bed. That's when he heard it.
Yo! What was that? What the... Dude, that sounded powerful. That sounded like something big is
a loud snapping sound from the trail ahead. He stopped listening, trying to convince himself it was nothing. But then it came again, louder this time. Something large was moving through the trees. A chill ran down his spine.
Oh, what the Something just seems off tonight. Or right now. And I don't know. Sorry guys, I know I'm rambling and just like kind of carrying on right now, but it's just this is like just raw. This is like how I'm feeling right now. Like, I don't know, maybe I should go back to the safety of my campsite.
Sensing danger, Dan turned back toward camp, unaware that his instincts had just saved him.
I just saw a light. I saw a light. Dude.
As he neared his campsite, a flicker of light caught his eye, a flashlight beam. At first, he thought little of it, but his relief quickly turned to dread when he realized the light was coming directly from his tent. Panicked, Dan hurried back only to find his tent wide open. Someone had been inside. Thankfully, he'd kept his valuables with him, but the violation left him shaken.
I think I got it on film. Wait. I didn't have this chair over here. This chair is closer to my tent. And dude, my tent is open. What the No, dude, my tent was not. No, my tent was not open when I left here. That chair was over by the tent, and the tent was not open.
Unsure what to do, he debated leaving, but ultimately chose to stay, reassuring himself that the worst had passed. For a while, all was quiet. He even updated his viewers, saying nothing unusual had happened since the earlier scare. But peace was not what awaited him.
Were they looking for that? Why would somebody be here? And why would somebody just take off if they were here? There was somebody just by my camp, looking around with a light right by where this boot is, and somebody opened my tent.
Just as he began to drift off to sleep, he was jolted awake by the crunch of footsteps. They grew louder, closer, heading straight toward his tent. His pulse quickened. Was this the same person who had been snooping around earlier? The steps stopped right beside him. Then a beam of light pierced through the fabric of his tent, pointing directly at him. Heart racing, Dan switched off his own light and froze. Summoning every ounce of courage, he called out into the darkness.
There's somebody outside. There's somebody outside. Hello? Who's out here? Who's out here? Answer me, who is out here?
For a tense moment, there was silence. Then, the figure retreated, vanishing into the woods without a word. Shaken and unwilling to risk another encounter, Dan packed up his gear and left the forest immediately. The next day, he reported the incident to the rangers, hoping to prevent others from facing the same danger. Though he escaped unharmed, the experience left him deeply unsettled, because while ghosts and legends are frightening in their own right, nothing is more chilling than the thought of a stranger lurking in the dark, someone whose intentions may be far worse than any spirit. A solo camper ventured into the woods for his very first overnight trip. But this wasn't just any night. It was Halloween. As he made his way along the narrow forest trail, he shared a chilling local legend, a ghostly man who wanders these woods after dark, forever lost, seen only by the truly unlucky. The deeper he went, the heavier the atmosphere became.
Hi guys, we're down at Dungeness. It's Halloween 2024. So I've decided to go out and do a solo camp. I've never done a solo camp in my life. So it's going to be something different for me, a new experience and probably a little bit creepy. I've heard there's been a few hauntings in the area. One story was absolutely great actually thinking about it. I'm just trying not to trip over. But I always remember it. A guy down on the beach fishing and there's known to be a ghost. He's like an old fisherman type man because it's like a fishing village, desert. He's known in the area to walk around in like dungaree type trousers and, you know, like traditional sort of fisherman sort of dress, old school. And apparently there was a guy down on the beach fishing away. And he was just getting to a point where he was ready to pack up to go home. And he turned around and see a bloke standing there staring at him. Bearing in mind, this is in the dark at night time, not midnight. And anyway, he sat there, he sort of spoke to the bloke a little bit. The bloke didn't answer, he just stood there staring. And he decided that enough's enough, I'm going to leave. Turned around to look at the bloke again, and he'd gone. Well, this guy freaked out and he's rushed back to his car and he's jumped in his motor and he was too scared that he didn't even pack any of his fishing rods up or anything.
By the time he found a small clearing to pitch his tent, the forest was unnervingly quiet as the sun slipped below the horizon. The silence seemed to press in from all sides.
Right guys, that's the tent all pitched up, ready to go. How exciting. It's only an old tent I'd laying around, but it does me okay. So nice and quick and easy. Cool, you can hear all the birds singing. So peaceful down here, apart from the main road. Does feel a little eerie though, if I'm honest, especially on your own. I mean, it doesn't look much in the camera, but the sun is going down fast. It's quite creepy.
By 11:15 p.m., he crawled into his tent, noting how the stillness felt unnatural, almost expectant. Then, faint at first, came the sound. Slow, deliberate footsteps crunching the forest floor, circling his tent.
It's getting a bit creepy outside. I thought I heard a few noises here and there, but I'll just put it down to animals, I think, because you know, it's a bit nasty out there. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm gonna because there's not a lot else I can do, I think I'm gonna get my head down because it's now 11:30. So what was that? Did you hear that, guys? What was that? What was that noise? Sounded close to 10.
His pulse thundered in his ears as he grabbed his flashlight and stepped outside. Nothing, not a single sign of movement. Reluctantly, he returned to his tent.
Because that wasn't very nice. That sounded a bit close to 10. Can't see anything, guys. I haven't heard the noise since. I don't know, guys. It's creeped me out a lot though. This solo camping is a little bit sketchy, if I'm honest. Oh, I don't know what that noise was, guys, but I'm back in the tent and I think I'm just going to call it a night because I'm quite tired. I just hope whatever that was has buggered off. I don't know what it was, whether it was an animal or I really don't know, but that was scary.
Hours later at 2 a.m., it struck. Something slammed into the side of his shelter again and again until the fabric began to cave.
What was that, guys? Shit. Someone out there. Shit. That's shaking me up, guys. That's really shaking me up.
Heart pounding, he unzipped the flap and swept his light into the darkness. No one there, but the unmistakable feeling of being watched gripped him. That was enough.
What the fuck was that? I absolutely shit myself. What the fuck was that? I can't do this, guys. I can't stay here. I cannot stay here, guys. I really can't. I don't know what the hell that was. There's someone here. There's got to be. There's someone here. Shit. I ain't hanging around here, guys. I've left my tent. I didn't pack it up in the end. I'm sorry about the head torch. I'm not turning that off. I'm not turning the head torch off. I need to see where I'm going and who's around me. Because, this isn't very nice, guys. This really isn't very nice.
He tore down his camp in a panic and fled through the night. Was it just a cruel prank, or had the local legend been waiting for him all along?